Rakin it in's a horse that a lot of people might have given up on.
His name definitely doesn't apply. The only thing he was raking in was bad luck and injuries. That's about it.
For him to be making his lifetime debut that night is pretty incredible.
Fate's an uncontrollable thing, isn't it?
Everybody in the horse game was affected, right across Canada.
Owners and trainers are devastated.
If he wasn't racing, he'd be gone.
It is a scene that's repeated in quiet, rural settings right across this country. Horses, and those who look after them, following their daily ritual.
This is a unique society back here. It's a hidden society, a true lifestyle, not just a job.
It's a small community that's spread over 4,000 miles. I mean, I know people from coast to coast. It's quite a culture. We're pretty proud of our heritage.
It's the excitement of manufacturing an equine athlete into something that conceivably could be a superstar.
It's always a puzzle. You have to pick out all the pieces and sort it out and put it together. That's what I enjoy.
But for trainers Chantel Mitchell and Chris DiCenzo, this horse, Rakin It In, was a different challenge altogether.
He's a character. Like, he's a likable horse, but he has his quirks. He's a bit of a pain in the butt, really.
Don't roll here. Go over there. Because of his personality and just being silly, it created a lot of problems for him along the way. He suffered quite a few injuries, and when he was 2, they shut him down for the summer because he was too immature. And then when they brought him back in at 3, he just took that much longer to bring along because his mentality isn't there.
Chantel, she's a real horse lover and very good at what she does. And, you know, she must have had a lot of confidence in that horse to keep him around as long as she did.
On January 4th, it seemed like his luck may change. We were going to the track that night with him. We were stuck in traffic for over 2 hours. I didn't think we were gonna make it, but I said, come hell or high water, I'm not missing his first start. He's had so much happen to him. I said, we are gonna make it. Finally, we got to Woodbine with literally 3 minutes to spare.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Woodbine.
He was kind of stressed out from being on the trailer for so long.
Relax. All right, all right, all right.
It's a hell of a way to make his debut.
As long as he finishes up good and does his job and they learn something, that's all we want.
Here they come. A tad slow as they charge to the quarter pole. First-time starter is raking it in.
We were just hoping he'd get around the track and show progression from his qualifiers.
Getting underway comes raking it in, the first-time starter as they travel into the final bend.
Some horses don't really handle stress really well, and he did that night.
Closing well to get third was raking it in 1:55 4/5.
He raced super. He was just awesome, and he acted like he didn't even race, like he was feeling great afterwards.
We're driving home, and we're happy with how he raced.
We came down first concession here, and Chris said to me, what is that out over there?
I just saw orange. Like, the sky looked like a huge bonfire. I didn't know what was going on, and we got closer, and that's our barn.
The fire was at the far end, so we tried to open the doors at the other end to see if we can get in. But we couldn't get in, we couldn't do anything. Lights were exploding and windows were bursting. I couldn't see a foot in front of me once we opened those doors.
We were just running around frantic, just not really knowing what to do.
I've never felt so helpless in my life. You know your family is in there and you can't do anything for them.
While Chris and Chantel scrambled to rescue the horses in Barn 1, Rakin was left alone in his trailer, with the sounds of chaos all around him.
I can only imagine what he went through sitting in there, not knowing what's going on, and just in a state of panic.
Barn fires are any horse person's worst nightmare. You always hear about it, but you never think it's gonna happen to you. Unfortunately, it did.
That morning we got up and it was all over the news.
The devastation from last night is being felt through the horse racing industry.
The fire ripped through the steel barn that was home to more than 40 horses.
Broke out last night around 11 at Classy Lane Stables.
43 horses died in a massive fire near Guelph.
Everyone is shocked and heartbroken.
Driving in was kind of a sense of dread. It was hard for me to give people this news. These owners that love their animals, tell them your horse is dead. They're all dead.
You get a phone call saying everything is, they're all gone. It's just a shock. As close to your family as you can get was gone. Those poor horses, they weren't all mine, but they were all part of me.
There was nothing we could have done to help. It's something I'll have to live with.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's observe a moment of silence in honor of those that have been lost.
We've certainly had our share of tragedies in the racing industry. And I think more than anything, what we at Woodbine did was just help to raise awareness. That has resulted in the public outpouring to support this tragedy.
When people sit back and think of a barn fire and 43 horses just perishing, it affects everybody, not just horse people.
While still dealing with their grief, everyone knew there was work to be done, horses to attend to. Chantel was especially concerned about one of them.
I still had Rakin. I had to look after him and make sure he was okay. But he was still on edge. He just wouldn't rest, wouldn't relax. He just wasn't himself. That's really all I could say.
Exactly 1 week after the fire, Chantel, Chris, and Rakin found themselves back at Woodbine.
When that fire happened, it was kind of like the end. And then to get back so quick, to be racing again, just a weird situation that I hope I never have to go through again.
And they're off and pacing, and all eyes on the fourth race. Raking it in, follows into the front five.
He got away, I think, 5th or 6th. He was just kind of floating along, doing his thing.
I'm watching, then all of a sudden he moved him outside. I'm like, oh, he looks better now that he's going faster.
He kind of moved with authority.
Now uncovered is raking it in.
I said to Chantal, I said, well, here we go. He moved up and was advancing. He was trying.
When he was coming down the lane and it looked like he was going to win, I'm sitting there, he's not going to win. There's no way.
And Gannica Seelster has his hands full at the head of the stretch from raking it in.
He's going to win. This horse is going to win.
Raking it in, clear in late stretch, it's 7-1. Raking it in, and the Lone Ranger.
He pushed him all the way to the wire and just fought that horse off.
Raking it in has put away the favorite.
It was just shocking that he did win the race.
Going back to the winner's circle, it was something special.
I was just so happy for them. It's like one step forward for us all.
As we stand here, months later, is it possible to tell us the impact that one victory by raking it in's had, not just on you, but on the entire Classy Lanes family?
To be honest, I wasn't expecting him to win that night. I was just hoping he could go out there and do the best he could.
He might never win another race again, and if he doesn't, that's fine. When it was time to pick everybody's spirits up, he went out and he gave us everything we needed. I think that's plenty.